I'm Tom Royden and this is my Orange Avenue property. This is the lower part of the property. At the bottom, I have the palm tree nursery. Moving up the hillside, I have both avocados and palms. Before the 2007 wildfire, my property had rich topsoil, good roads, and no noticeable erosion. The fire burned all of my avocado trees and most of my palm trees. It also burned the irrigation system. In addition, there's been significant damage by erosion. After the fire, there was immense runoff from the rains which caused serious erosion damage. The runoff has created deep erosion channels in the groves, damaged the surface of the roads, and without fast work by my crew to make temporary repairs, the runoff would have destroyed many sections of my road. In addition, there was sheet erosion throughout the groves that washed away a lot of the topsoil. Good topsoil is essential for productive avocado trees. I'd like to show you some examples. This is the filter station at Orange Avenue, and I was here when the concrete was poured, and we dug out the soil and then formed it, and this is some of the erosion that we've been getting here now, and if I measure, it's 18 inches of erosion. This is an example here of the erosion that comes off the grove. This after the fire. In some places, it's 3 feet wide and 3 feet deep, and soil is deposited further down on the flat ground among the palm trees. You know, this is a considerable piece of destruction of topsoil here. In many places, the runoff water has undermined the soil and caused it to collapse. This is an example of some of the erosion we've got here. There's quite a few erosion channels, and we never had this before the fire. This was sort of even area. Up here we have, this tree's going to come down at some point. I don't see it surviving that much longer. This is almost 3 feet of topsoil onto a rock. This is about 4.5 feet of topsoil at the tree level, but a lot has been lost. All of my avocado trees were damaged by the fire, and the bark on the trunks is severely cracked. In many cases, the cambium is exposed. This is an example. Here the bark is peeling off and the cambium is dead. This is an example of rainwater coming across the grove and is now starting to erode the shoulder of the supporting shoulder of the road. This is an example of topsoil. The organic matter was burnt and eroded, and we have 6 feet of topsoil to the hard rock below. This particular spot did not suffer heavy erosion, so it's a nice example of the depth of the topsoil on my property before the erosion caused by the fire. Here are a few examples of sheet erosion. The roots of palm trees grow below the surface of the soil. Here you see them exposed. The first example, about 14 inches of sheet erosion. The second example gives a perspective of the sheet erosion in the area. I grow field-grown queen palms in among the avocado trees. I was able to harvest these field-grown queen palms from the road using my various cranes. I have cranes that I use to harvest the palm trees that I have growing all over the grove, and these are both of them 15 ton, so I can lift big palms out from these fields. The roads I have to have in good condition to be able to get to all these locations where I planted the palm trees. This is another of my cranes. It's a Caterpillar side boom pipe layer which was converted to a hydraulic extension boom that can lift any queen palm in the grove, and it has stabilizers to make certain that it doesn't go over. It's used to harvest field-grown queen palms, and I basically couldn't harvest everything without the help of this crane. This is only one of two in the world with this conversion, where I can reach 80 feet into the grove. Here are two more of my cranes. Both of these cranes were destroyed. As you can see, the roads are heavily damaged by erosion. This makes it impossible to move my cranes around the property. The fire burned the culvert and erosion washed out the road. I've lost access at this intersection. The fire destroyed all the chaparral on the surrounding hills. You can see that the chaparral is above the avocado grove. When it rained after the fire, the runoff from the chaparral seriously damaged the roads in the area. This is where I grow my pygmy date palms and avocados. This is an example of severe erosion. We were about to lose the road, and so we had to put in pipe, sandbags, And then when that even wasn't enough, we had to put in rock, because we almost lost this a couple of times. The water was coming off the chaparral, which had just pouring water out and ripped out most of our previously successful culverts. This is a temporary repair that we had to do because we were going to lose the road otherwise. And whatever we had at hand, we put in, because if the shoulder of the road had gone, the whole road would have gone. So the pipe is to carry the water further out. This was a vital emergency repair, because without the roads, we can't manage the business. So this road had to be saved. Here we have the water coming so fast off the chaparral that it took out all the soil that was originally in this shallow basin, and blasted out the side of this protective wall, and then went on down, doing more damage. So we try to slow the water down by putting these palm fronds sideways to control the erosion, but it didn't work. Here the water it blew out up there by the first concrete wall, came here, blew out, and was starting to cut down the road. So this concrete went in, and then when that still wasn't enough, more water kept coming. We put these sort of temporary blocks on top to try and keep the road open. Then we put in a culvert, and then we were starting to lose the bottom side of this road. So then we had to put sandbags in to try and hold it. So it was a continuous fight. Basically, we had to hold this side of the road, or that would be gone too. We made many emergency repairs here. There was a lot of sheet erosion coming off the grove areas. In order to protect the roads, we hand dug ditches on the uphill side of the roads. In many cases it was necessary to reinforce the ditches. In some cases we used sandbags, in other situations we used fiber rolls. Also we stacked rock to support the ditches. In this situation, the sheet erosion from the grove above the road breached the ditch and caused erosion on the downhill road shoulder. In order to save the road shoulder, we dumped palm tree fronds to prevent further erosion. This is an example of erosion that happened after the fire. This was a perfectly orderly slope, and with the rainfall and the erosion, this deepest channel has been cut right through the hillside. It's probably 3 foot, 4 foot deep and about 5 foot across. This is an old established oak tree. This tree fell over after the fire due to erosion. Interestingly, it's still alive. Runoff from the grove above the road has saturated the soil of the road shoulder and destabilized it. Now the road shoulder is separating from the road and will likely slide down the slope. This road is too dangerous to drive on.